right, so this is day 13, and I read Psalm 87 and Psalm 88. 87 didn't really say a whole lot to me. It was short. It was only 7 verses, and yeah, I didn't really, sorry, but nothing really spoke to me there. Psalm 88, on the other hand, really spoke to me because it reminded me of a situation that I had been in, and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it all because it's like really. I'm gonna say this is a really dark chapter, and it's kind of, I guess, depressing because you'll see when I read it. So verse 1, it says, "O Lord, the God who saves me, day and night I cry out before you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. For my soul is full of trouble, and my life draws near the grave. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am like a man without strength. I am set apart with the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, whom are cut off from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Your wrath lies heavily upon me. You have overwhelmed me with all your waves. You have taken me from my closest friends and have made me repulsive to them. I am confined and cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, O Lord, every day. I spread out my hands to you. Do you show your wonders to the dead? Do those who are dead rise up and praise you? Is your love declared in the grave, your faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in the place of darkness, or your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? But I cry to you for help, O Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Why, O Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? From my youth I have been afflicted and close to death. I have suffered your tears and am in despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your tears have destroyed me. All day long they surround me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken my companions and loved ones from me. The darkness is my closest friend." That is like dark and deep. Like, to say your closest friend is darkness? Wow. Like, I can relate to this chapter, like really I can, because I've been there. Like, I'm not necessarily gonna say I'm there now. I'm crying out to God now, but it's different. My attitude is different now. But I've definitely have been there in the past 3 years. Like, it's 3. Why 3? Anyways, my favorite scriptures are actually, there's some that really spoke to me that when I was reading it just now, like it says verse 3, "For my rewind. For my soul is full of trouble." And I have so felt that, like nothing has changed right now, when I guess in everything that has happened to me lately in the past 3 years plus, like I said, God has changed my heart, my attitude. So right now it's different, and it didn't used to be. Exactly how this person is talking in this chapter is exactly how I felt. I constantly cried out to God, and where was he? I'm not saying he wasn't there, because he was there obviously, but it just didn't seem like he was there. So the 2 that I wrote down were verse 8 and 9. It's more the second half of 8. It says, "I am confined and I cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, O Lord, every day. I spread out my hands to you." And verse 18, "You have taken my companions and loved ones from me." The best part of it. "The darkness is my closest friend." And like I said, that's like deep dark. And the questions are, can you think of a movie that made you cry? Were you glad to be in a dark theater? Is it possible for devoted believers to be in perpetual trouble, depressed, feel forsaken? Can a Christian be both a committed realist and optimist? And I'll just read my thoughts. And so the last, of course, as far as movies, there's been a bunch that have made me cry. But the last movie that I can think of that made me cry, like I was like crying and sobbing, and I saw it in a theater, was The Shack. And I guess it's just because there's so many things in there that just made me think and feel like, God, where are you at? Like, just everything that I've been through. Like, where are you, God? I don't understand this. I don't understand that. Like, where are you? That movie, you know, people say it was, some Christians say it wasn't, can't think of the word, like it wasn't, I wish I could think of the word, wasn't like correct, I guess, in maybe theology or whatever. But you know what? There was points in it that made sense to me. There was points in it that really touched me. And I mean, it's what it is. It's a movie, you know. And the question was, the second one was, were you glad to be in a dark theater? And actually, yeah, because the only public place that I cry out like that is church. Like I cry at work and people see me crying at work all the time. But like the only besides that, I mean, it takes a lot for me, obviously, to cry at work, you know, like if I'm just really troubled. And it was really just baby girl that made me cry a lot at work, and my ex-husband too. But anyways, so the only public place that I really cry out in is church. And so for me to be sitting in that movie theater just crying and sniffling, and I'm like, why didn't I bring some tissue? But I didn't feel bad because there was like men in there crying. And that to me is like the most awesome thing in the world. And so I asked the question, why do we as humans equate crying with a weakness? And why do we think it's wrong or bad to do? And that's true because, like, I guess for me, I was sitting in a movie theater and I didn't want my kids to see me cry. Like, it's okay if they see me cry in church, you know, but I just didn't want them to see me crying like that. Like, I mean, like, literally, like, I was totally broken, you know, down from this movie because it had so much that touched me for so many reasons. And I'll just watch that movie and cry again because it touches me and it helps me to think about things in a different perspective. And I love that. But, you know, I guess I want to do some research on why we have to think that crying is a bad thing. You know, like, it's okay to cry because even sometimes in church, it's like, I don't want nobody to see me cry. I don't need to cry. Like, I don't need, you know, like, who cares? Who cares? So then the next thing was, is it possible for devoted believers to be in perpetual trouble? Yes, most definitely it is. And I'm going to say for me, the past 3 years, I just wrote down some things. And I just felt like everything happened to me. It started with a car accident. Then I had 6+ surgeries because I lost track after that. Like, I just didn't want to keep count. I was probably up to 10, I think. I almost lost my kidney. I ended up getting divorced. There was some financial issues. There was multiple sicknesses, obviously. The stress of the medical bills, the stress of baby girl, the stress of not being able to take care of my kids. I couldn't take care of the house I wanted to. I had constant back issues. I still have constant back issues. With that, like, I can't exercise like I want to, so I've gained weight. And then I had another health issue come up where I had to take medicine for 6 months, which is weird how I got it, and they have no idea how I got it because usually you only get it if you travel to another country. And then when that great flood happened of 2015, that former Governor Haley said was like the 1,000-year flood, like, I had a roof redone because we had some crazy hail storm over here. And so I had the roof redone, and they didn't do the job properly. So when the flood happened and it continuously kept raining all that time, it leaked through my house. And I have like a 2-story house, and it leaked through the top part down to the bottom part. The ceiling was completely ruined. It was just me by myself. I didn't have money to fix it. The roof company, they didn't want to fix it, of course, you know, because there was a lot of damage done. They didn't want to fix it. And so my house looked like crap on the inside. And I hated people coming to my house because I felt embarrassed because I couldn't fix it. And all of that on top of the personal constant struggle on the inside, the constant struggle to believe that God was still there, the constant struggle to continue to have the faith, to get up every day and go to work, because there were so many days where I just didn't want to get up out of bed. And I can remember one of the surgeries, and my pastor, you know, at the former church I went to, like the one that I speak, that he's like a dad to me. Like, he came to every surgery I had, and his wife, the first lady, like, she came too as much as she could, and if not, she was calling on the phone, you know, talking to me and stuff. And of course, my adopted mom that I call my adopted mom, she was always there for me in every single surgery. I mean, that helped. But there was one in particular surgery, and I know nobody knows, but it was my pastor and first lady were there, and it was at night. And I was just like, you know what, God, I'm so tired of everything, you know. And until you go through everything, you can't say anything. You know, it's easy to be on the outside looking in, and I know I do it a lot because people say I'm judging a lot, so I'm trying not to. So, but it's easy to look on the outside, you know, in and say this and that, you know, about the situation, and like, oh, you got to have faith. God is good. God is there. Quote every scripture in the Bible to you. But you know what? Until you walk through it, you just have no idea. You don't know the pain, the struggles, the fears. You don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have really like no family, no friends. All my, you know, family is like far away. We're not close anyways. And the only people that I had, like I said, and not that it's a bad thing, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, because it was a good thing, because at least they were the ones that were there for me. And it's all about quality, not quantity, you know. And that's, I think, a problem as humans, is we look at the quantity of stuff and not the quality. But like I said, my pastor and his wife were there, and I think my adopted mom too. I can't remember. Anyway, I just know it was late at night, and I was just like, you know what, God, just take me. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm tired of this place. This is real. Like, if you want fake, go somewhere else, because my videos are going to be real. They're going to be truthful. And, you know, he doesn't even know that I felt that way that night. That whole entire time, him and his wife were praying for me. Like, I was just praying, God, to just take me. Like, I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of this place. I hate this place. I'm sick of everything that's going on. Like, I just want to come home to you. Like, I don't want to be here, God. Like, even though you're allowing all this stuff to happen to me, like, I would rather just be with you, because I know that even though my circumstances are saying one thing and it is trying to make me seem like you're not there for me, I know how great a God you are, and I know who you are. And I just really wanted to go home and be with him. Like, I was just like, please don't let me wake up out of this surgery. Like, I was so tired of everything that was going on, and it's hard when you're in that situation. So can a believer be in perpetual trouble? Yes. And it's a constant thing, is what it means. It's a constant thing, day in and day out. Yes, they can. And you know, like, people will think of Job and his story, but also I wanted to bring up Paul. And in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, now my nose is running. I deal with sinus issues too. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 through 28. I can talk today. I'm going to read it. And it says, and this is Paul talking about the things that he's been through. And it says, are they servants of Christ? I am out of my mind to talk like this. I am more. I have worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews the 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a day and night in the open sea. I have been constantly on the move. I have been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my own countrymen, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, and in danger from false brothers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I have known hunger and thirst and have often gone without food. I have been cold and naked. Besides everything else, I face the daily pressure of my concern for all the churches. Now that is some perpetual, trouble that, you know, a believer can be in. So can a believer be depressed? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And you know what's bad is when the church as a whole, as a body, makes a believer think that they can't be depressed, because then you sit there, and this was, I think, my issues, because I fell into depression with everything that was going on. And I think my issue was I felt, and this is, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that anybody made me necessarily feel this way, but I felt like who are you? You're supposed to be this Christian. You're supposed to have this faith in God. Why are you depressed? Like, how can you be depressed? Because God's supposed to be so good. God's supposed to work everything out for your good, right? How could you be depressed? Like, that thought made me feel even worse than what I was. Like, that's the thought that made me want to walk away from church, because to me, it was like, you're not representing who you're saying you are. Like, you say all this crap, but look at you. Like, why are you sad? Why are you depressed? Why is all this stuff bothering you? All this stuff is happening to you, but it doesn't mean it has to bother you. Like, you're not a Christian. Like, that's what I felt like. And can you feel forsaken? Yes. In that period of time, like, I felt like God was nowhere around me. Like, a little bit here and there. Like I said, you know, he brought my pastor and first lady and my adopted mom to me, and different things like nurses and doctors and different stuff like that. And, you know, you could tell they were being used by God, but I still felt forsaken, because it was just a little tidbit here and there. And just with everything going on, it was just like this huge, massive explosion, like this huge hurricane, huge tornado going on in my life. And it was just a little bit of peace, a little bit of, you know, it's like say an earthquake, a gigantic, huge earthquake happens, you know, and then there's a break of peace and you think it's over. But guess what? Here comes the aftershock, baby. And I kept getting aftershock after aftershock after aftershock. You know what I'm saying? So yes, to all those questions. Is it possible for devoted believers to be in perpetual trouble? Yes. To be depressed? Yes, it is. Don't let anybody tell you any different, because that's not true. And can they feel forsaken? Yes, you can feel forsaken. But the point is somewhere in you, there's something that's going to tell you not to let go. There's something that's going to tell you that God is there for you no matter what the situation looks like. And he's just going to bring you out better. And I can say all this now because I'm done with that period of time of all this stuff happening. But it was very hard for me. But yet there was still something like inside of me that kept every day. I would still go to church. I did stop reading my word. I would read it here and there, which makes no sense because I needed it all the more, and I needed to be in it all the more, but I just didn't feel like it, because it's like all this stuff is happening to me and I don't want to read about this stuff. Like, nothing is seeming to work out, nothing is seeming to go right. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't get anything. Like, yeah, I had some truly deep, dark moments. Like, literally, there was so many days that I just could not get out of bed. Like, I would push it to the limit. Like, it's like, okay, chick, if you don't get up out of bed, you're going to get fired because you're not getting up to go to work. Like, you're going to get fired. Like, you have to do this, you know? And I think for me, like, I had a kid, you know, when I was young. So I've always had someone to take care of, someone, you know, that I was responsible for besides myself. And I think having baby girl through this period, now that I'm looking back, like, helped me a lot, because it's like, you have to get up, girl. You have to take care of her. And yes, I know that I have my other children, but it's like, they're older, they're more capable. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to dress themselves, they know how to bathe themselves, they know how to feed themselves. They can, you know, pretty much do for themselves. Like, it's not like they desperately need me, you know, like she did. And I think having her through that period kind of helped me, because it's like, okay, you got to get up, you got to take her to daycare, and then you got to go to work, you know. So having that helped me a lot too. Yeah, it did. So anyways, out of all of this, what can you get? All this stuff can happen to you, but just never ever give up faith. And that is so easy to say right now, because going through that stuff, like I said, I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up multiple times. And like I said, there was 2 serious times, and the time where I just wanted to walk away from church. And you know, if you stop going to church, the enemy it's nothing but a feeding ground, a feeding frenzy for the enemy. Then it really is, because you're not getting that word in you, especially if you're not reading every day, and you're not having those the people that are real loving Christians around you. You're not having those to help you, to uplift you, to keep you encouraged. You don't have those if you step away from the church. And then when you know, the surgery that I had, and I just wanted to go home. Like, I didn't want to be here anymore, you know. And so you are going to have times like that. And like the scripture I said, verse 18, it says, the darkness is my closest friend. Like, this chapter is so deep. Like, it just, speaks all those words that I couldn't speak. Like, it says exactly everything I was feeling, because honestly, that's all I had was darkness. Like, literally, like, I can't explain everything. I mean, I told you all the things, you know, on the outside that were going on, but it's hard to explain every moment on the inside what's going on, how you're feeling. You know, you just feel abandoned and alone, and like no one is there for you, you know. Like I said, you know, my pastor and his wife were totally there, and my adopted mom, but it's just like they couldn't be there 24/7 with me. I mean, I'm just one person in his huge church, you know what I'm saying? And then I would feel bad, because it's like, you know, you're coming to all my surgeries, and it's like, oh my God, I'm putting too much on him because he feels like he has to be there. And I mean, there's hundreds of other people at this church, you know? So, I mean, there's just so many things that were going through my head. And I guess if I could just, I don't know, I made it through. I guess that's the only thing I can give you, is like, I've made it through, you know, and God has shown me so much, and I've gained so much freedom from bondages and things that the enemy had over me. Do I have a lot more to overcome? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do, because God keeps showing me through people, and just, he keeps showing me just myself, you know, a lot of things that I have to overcome. But my life has never been easy. It's never been peachy. It's never been privileged. It's never been anything. It's been extremely hard. It has, like, and I'm not just saying that, like, you don't know what I've lived each and every day, so you can sit there and say whatever you want to say, but it's been rough. But the thing is where God is bringing me, and where he's about to use me, because of everything I've been through, I can help others, you know. So to sit here and say I wouldn't want to go through anything that I've been through, I can't say that. Would I want to go through it again? No, definitely not. You know, would this be the path that I've chosen, that I want to go through this stuff? Definitely not. Most definitely not, because who likes pain? Nobody. And, well, some people do. Anyway, they've got issues. Just know that you can come out, I guess, is what I'm saying, on the other side. Like, there is another side, even at those deepest, darkest moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, when, and I'm being real, because that's who I am. When you're on the floor, and you're just crying out to God, and you feel like no one is around, and you just want to give up, but you know that you can't do certain things, because you wouldn't get to be with your God, and you have responsibilities, you know. Like, even in those moments, I guess I would just say, just, you know, if you can't say nothing else, just keep saying Jesus repetitively. Keep saying Jesus. Just keep saying Jesus. Keep saying Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. If you can't say nothing else, just say that. And somehow, some way, he will come and comfort you, because all these things that happen to us, you know, ultimately, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it, in the grand scheme of things, I guess I'll say, like, it doesn't matter. Like, all this stuff happens for reasons, and it's hard to see it when you're in it, but you can come out of it. I guess that's the biggest thing, you know. Even if darkness, is your closest friend, like, you can come out of it. There is a way to come out of it, and that only way is through God. Whatever avenue God chooses to use, hey, but the only way you can come out of it is through God. Because if it wasn't for, literally, and I'm just saying, if it wasn't for Pastor Stephen, because that was the vessel that God chose to use to really just get me up out of myself, like, it was he had a 40-day devotional book, and I started with that just to get me back into reading my word every day, and it would speak to me, you know, every day, because at least I could turn the page and be like, this is day 1, this is day 2, and if you miss it, you know, you miss it. And so I never missed it. And then his book, Crash the Chatterbox, like, that was the best book in the entire world. Like, I'm sorry, but it surpasses Battlefield of the Mind to me. Like, that is the best book, because he's real, you know. He sits here and he doesn't try and put on a front. Like, he tells you, like, I got this problem, I got that problem, you know, this is how I feel when I wake up in the morning. And that so touched me, like, because like I said, I felt like, here I am, this Christian, and and I feel all these things, and you shouldn't feel this way as a Christian. Like, that's what people make you think, and people in the world think that you're perfect because you're a Christian, and no, you're not. Like, you're so far from it. You're just like them. The only difference is you accepted Jesus into your heart and you try to live for him, and yet we fail, you know, and the world doesn't understand that. And I didn't understand that when I was in the world either. It's just the way that it is. Like, we don't understand, you know. I always lose where I'm going sometimes when I get all excited in my head. But I'm trying to think what I was talking about. Oh, it's crazy. But Stephen's book, yes, Pastor Stephen's book, Crash the Chatterbox. Like, he's so real. Like my mind and his mind are similar, and I just connected with him because he's sitting there talking about how he'll sleep in, because I'm not a morning person by any means, and he was talking about how he would sleep in, and then he was like, oh God, why did you sleep in? Now you're going to be late. People are counting on you, da 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 da. Like, he ran through one morning in his head, like what he was feeling in his head, he ran through one morning. I was like, you know what, Jesus, I'm not so bad, because how Pastor Stephen feels is how Mary feels. So Mary's not alone by herself, because the devil will try and make you feel like you're on like this deserted island by yourself with water all around you, and no one around you, but all these troubles and these problems, when in fact you're not alone. Like, people are feeling the same as you. It's just the pure fact that they don't want to put it out there. They don't want to speak it. They don't want to say how they're feeling. You know, they want to put up this front. I don't want to put up a front, because I'm not going to gain anything through it. It's going to make me feel worse. I'm never going to get my freedom that I want. So no, I'm not going to sit and put up a front. I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling. Sometimes, you know, like how we as people will be like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? And you know what I do sometimes? Like, if I'm really not in a great mood or whatever, I'm going to tell you. I'm like, you know what? Today sucks. Like, it really sucks. No, I'm okay. Or whatever. Like, I'm blessed and highly favored. Like, sure, that has all its room, place, whatever, great, whatever. And I know you have to be careful of the things that you speak out your mouth, but I'm real. Like, I'm not going to fake in front, because to me, that gets you absolutely nowhere. And back to his book, Crash the Chatterbox, like, he was talking in there about, I think it's Mother Teresa, and then I think it was Paul or a disciple or something, and about how they felt. And he put in there some pages from her journal book. And it was so awesome, because we look at her as like she was so close to God, and, you know, she was doing all this great stuff. But she would have these moments, she'd be like, God, where are you at? And I'm paraphrasing in my own words. She'd have these moments like, God, where are you at? And I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. I'm not weird. I'm not different. I'm not on this island by myself. I'm not just thinking these thoughts, you know, by myself, because I don't know if you've ever like truly felt like you were going crazy, because I have. Like, no, you're not. Like, you're not the only one. If people would just start sharing the truth of how they're feeling and different stuff, and stop putting up this fake and front and crap, and stop putting up these masks, that's when we can tear apart the enemy's kingdom. You know, is when we be real. Like, you have to be real. All this crap of faking and fronting and whatever you want to call it, it needs to stop, because it doesn't do anything. Like, it just brings more harm than it does bring good, and that's Mary's opinion. But anyways, all that said, you will come out of this. If darkness right now is your closest friend, you will come out of this in Jesus' name. And I just pray for you that you make it. God makes it, helps you through it, however, whatever avenue he chooses, whether it's people, whether it's music, whether it's books or words or preachers or whatever it is, that God will help you make it through it. And if you've never read Crash the Chatterbox, I encourage you to get that book and read it, because it is so freaking awesome. It's just awesome. And I probably shouldn't use that word, but it is awesome. Like, that is the very book, rewind, the very best book, I can't say best book together, the very best book that I've ever read in my entire life, honestly, was Crash the Chatterbox. And I just thank God that he used Pastor Stephen to help me, because I was in a deep, dark place, and I don't think I would have came out if it wasn't for him, because obviously that was the path that God chose to use, you know, Pastor Stephen to help me through this time, because if it wasn't for him, hey, I don't know. So I just encourage you, even like to find that pastor that's real, and just watch, you know, their videos, listen, really listening, listening to that word, you know, of them being truthful. I just encourage you to find someone, whether it's Pastor Stephen, Pastor John Gray's another person that's really good, Ron Carpenter is another person that's really good. Those are my 3 tops right now. Oh, and Perry Noble, he's really good. So those are my top 4. So it's Pastor Stephen, John Gray, Perry Noble, and Ron Carpenter. Like, they're my top 4 that I listen to, because they're real. And you know, Ron Carpenter's not going to give it to you any other way but being real. And John Gray, he's going to straight up tell you too. So, and Pastor Stephen, you know, he doesn't wear a mask. Perry Noble doesn't wear a mask. That man's got an awesome, awesome testimony. And it makes me look at things differently too. So, anyways, this has been an incredibly long video, but you're going to make it through. And I just pray that you have a great day today, and you know, get that book, Crush the Chatterbox, because you won't be sorry. And listen to any one of those guys, you know, like I said, or someone else. Just find someone who's going to be real and not put up fakeness, fronts, mask, whatever. I want someone who's going to be real with me, to not make me feel like I'm on that island, you know. And those people do it for me. And nowadays, like, we have all this technology. You can go on YouTube and you can find all their sermons for umpteen years past, and you can listen to all of them, because that's what I do. So anyways, I pray you have a great day today. Bye-bye.